In this quick video guide, I'm going to show you the two methods that you can paint in Blender, which are Vertex Paint and Texture Paint. So let me show you everything from the beginning. This is going to be a real quick and simple tutorial. So first of all, I need the subject. So I'm going to add a mesh and add a monkey. And then I want to increase a little bit the quality of these monkeys. I'm going to go to the modifier and I'm going to use subdivision surface. And that's going to be fine to make a nice example. So I'm going to Control C and Control V. I'm going to copy and paste these. And also I want to turn this into a smooth. So shade smooth and shade smooth. Now you can see that even though we have a few polygons, when I use smooth, this is kind of an effect. So it's going to look fine. Now Vertex Paint, it's also kind of an effect that we apply on a subject. Well, Texture Paint is based on an image, on a texture. So let's first start with Vertex Paint. So I'm going to select this one here. I'm going to go to Vertex Paint. And now I'm ready to paint. So I want to make the radius smaller. So here you can manage the radius, the strength. We can change the color. And we can change blending modes. We have different tools. Now, if you're interested, you will find a video course in character design, talking about also how you can paint your characters, or in general, how you can use paint. So now I can paint. You can see that it's not so accurate. Why? Because this is an effect that I'm using, which is the subdivision. So if I want to increase a little bit the quality, I need to apply this. Now, once I apply, you can definitely see the number of polygons is higher. Now, Vertex Paint, it's called Vertex Paint because it's painting on the vertices. So basically, it's painting according to the number of polygons. So the higher is the number of polygons, the better will be the Vertex Paint. The lower is that number of polygons and the subdivision, the lower will be the quality. Now, this is kind of an issue because to paint on a really to have a really high quality, you need to paint on really high poly models. Otherwise, you're gonna have like strange, and not so detailed paint strokes. So you can see here, it's gonna have some artifacts. So I'm trying to paint again the nose and the eyes. Again, this is just an example. And also, I cannot go into much details with this. So if I need to do like a mustache here, I cannot go and create like each single hair. So it's gonna be like really simplified mustache. So what's the other issue with Vertex Paint? Now, if I move into render mode, you can see that I cannot see anything. So let me just switch to object mode again from here. I'm gonna move this light on the front of my subject. Now you can see that no paint is visible right now. But if I go back into the standard mode, and I select the object and I use the vertex paint, those are gonna be visible again. Now we need to make one adjustment to the material. So I'm gonna take this object, I'm gonna go to shading mode, and you can see I don't even have a material. So I need to create a new material. I can create it from here, new, or from here, new. So I'm gonna create it from here, and I need also an extra node if I wanna see the vertex paint. So I'm gonna go to add and search for the color attribute. There you go. And now I'm gonna link this color to the base color like this. So now you can see that this will be visible in the rendering, in the preview of the rendering, and in the rendering itself. So this is how the vertex paint works, more or less. Now, if you go in sculpt mode, also here you can use the vertex paint, or you can also use the sculpt mode and the paint tools that you have here that you find in here. So you have paint, and this is basically working just like the vertex paint that we saw previously. So it's painting on the vertices. You can already tell by the quality of the paint. It's also not so strong. So I need to increase the strength a little bit. You can see it's not doing a really good job. It's really, it has a lot of artifacts. Now to solve this again, you just need to increase the number of polygons. Just like when you are sculpting. When you want to sculpt details, you want to increase the number of polygons to have more details. And again, this is covered in the Blender 3D character design video course that you find in the channel. Now I'm gonna take this other one I'm gonna go back to layout, and I'm gonna use texture paint for this. So to use texture paint, first of all, we need to check if our model has a UV map. So I'm gonna go to UV editing, and this model actually does. And you can see the model now is flattened on this UV, and this is basically what the mapping does. This is unwrap mapping, so every face, every three-dimensional part of the object is flat and not overlapping, and this is the best way you can paint with texture paint. If you don't have a good mapping, you cannot paint correctly using texture paint. Now, if you do have this, and thanks to Blender, we already have it in this monkey head, otherwise you need to create it yourself. Now, if you had this done, you can proceed to texture paint. Now you can see this is violet, is not white, because this is the absence of the texture. So what we need is a texture. So I can go here, click on plus, and create a new base color. So this is going to be a new base texture. And you can see that I can use the resolution here. So I can say that my texture will be 2K, so 2048 times 2048. So the better is the quality here. So the higher is the resolution, the better is the quality, and the bigger will be the texture which I'm gonna paint on. So if I say okay, now it's creating this texture right here, and I can start to paint. I can paint directly on my subject right here, and now I can go into really fine details. You can see how fine details I can create with this. If you compare it to the previous one, you see that there is an important gap between this one and this one. So even though the polygons stay the same, here I can paint with the really fine details. And this is again thanks to the texture paint. There you go. So you can see I can be really detailed, even though I don't have more polygons. And now let's also paint the eyes. So I'm gonna change here the color. Press F if you want a bigger brush. You can also zoom in and zoom out if you want to change automatically the size. And you can see now this doesn't have the artifacts that this has right here. So I can be really detailed painting with this with the texture. Now you can see I can also paint in 2D. So if I think this is too hard to paint in 3D, I can go here and I can paint directly here. So let me just change the color again. I want to make like orange, like this. Okay, and then I want to make it smaller, and then I can paint my mustache directly in here, so you can see that it's probably going to be easier. And that's it. So these are the main differences and pros and cons between the texture paint and the Vertex paint. So I hope you enjoyed this quick lesson, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support us, please join the channel as a supporter. And if you want, you can check our other video courses and video guides in Blender. So that's it. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video guide.